What's up everyone, Brad Dalkey here. Today we are going to be talking about how to control your distances with your wedges. Controlling your distances with your wedges is an extremely important part of the game of golf. Your wedges are your scoring clubs. If you can consistently hit your wedges on the green or somewhat close, it can lead to a lot more birdies, which that'll turn into a lot more lower scores on the scorecard. Also, wedge shots with practice can be one of the easiest shots to hit in golf. It's a short club, it's a little wedge, similar swing to a normal full swing, which means it's just that much more important to be able to hit those shots close, be able to consistently hit the green with your wedges. Knowing your distances is extremely important on being able to get that ball close, because you're probably not gonna get too far offline left or right with the wedge in your hand. Mostly it's all about your distance and being able to know how far your wedges go and being able to hit that distance. So first off, contact is extremely important. Wedges, like I said, are one of the easiest clubs to hit just because it is such a short club, not as much swing in the shot, and it should be easier to make consistent contact with a wedge. Obviously for everyone, it's still not very easy, but contact is the most important thing to be able to know how far this shot is about to go. Because if I have a 100-yard shot, I hit my 100-yard shot with my sand wedge, and I hit it dead off the toe, or I chunk it, or hit it a little thin, that yardage is just kind of out the window, and you're just hoping that it gets close. So being able to consistently control your wedge shot or wedge distances, you have to be able to make consistent good contact. I know that there are basically two types of different wedge players when it comes to high-level golf. Some people are a lot more feel-oriented. They see a target out there. Obviously, we shoot the yardage or step off the yardage, but say it's 100 yards, we see the flag at 100 yards out, and we can kind of feel our way to a 100-yard shot. And that's how I am. I am much more of a feel-oriented player when it comes to my wedges and short game and all that. There are also many pro golfers though that aren't as feel-oriented with their wedges. They use sort of a clock system with their wedges. So with a 60 degree, they'll know how far that shot will go if their arm is here, arms all the way back. 56 degree, they'll know how far that shot will go with the arms here, here, all that. So they have all these written down, they know them. Again, I'm not that way personally, just because I feel like I'm better when I'm just feeling my wedges out, but I do recommend trying out the clock system. I know a lot of very good golfers who love it and will die by that system. You need to have a half shot, a 3/4 shot, and a full shot, and know how far it goes with each wedge. If you're a beginner golfer or someone who doesn't practice much, obviously I get it. Contact might not be as consistent. You might not really necessarily know how far your wedges are even going. It might be different based on each shot. One might go 60 yards, one might go 100 yards, one might go 50 yards. You just don't know. So I get that, and if you aren't able to practice very much, I get that it's probably very tough to be able to know how far your wedges go. I think the best you possibly can, you have to be able to figure out how far each wedge goes with each different shot. So I have a launch monitor. I know not everyone is able to have a launch monitor, but if you do own a launch monitor or you have access to one somehow, I recommend using that. Obviously at Good we use our full swing monitors, and it just makes it very easy to be able to set it up at a target. You can hit a 60 degree and hit all the different shots with it, see how far it goes, kind of write down an average, maybe hit 10 shots with a full 60, and write down the average, that's how far it goes. Write down, you know, hit a half shot with 60 10 times, write down the average, that's how far it goes. But if you don't have one, if you have a range finder, that can work great too. You can get on the range, find a pin that's somewhat in the area of where you're trying to, of where you think that shot will go, and just hit 10 shots at it. Say the pin is 85 yards away, you hit 10 shots at it, and most of them are landing between 10 to 5 yards short of that pin. That club probably goes around, you know, 75, 80 yards. As long as you have somewhat of an idea, it doesn't have to be right on the smack yardage, but if you have a somewhat idea of how far a wedge goes, how far each wedge, the type of shot you're hitting with the wedge goes, that will help your game drastically. You can't be having a guessing game out there. And even with me, even though I'm a field guy, it's still not a guessing game. You know, I'm still seeing it, and I've practiced it enough to where I know what this feeling of this swing, how far this is gonna go. So it might seem like it's a guessing game for me. It's not. You don't want to be going out there blind. Like I said, use launch monitor, use rangefinder on the range. If you have a 60 degree, 56 degree, 52 degree, I recommend you having a half swing a 3/4 swing and a full swing with each shot, with each wedge. So that's 9 shots total. I recommend you going to hit 10 balls with each shot. So it's 90 balls total. 10 with the full swing 60, 10 with the 3/4 60, 10 with the half swing 60. You average it out, you kind of, or if you're on the range and you're trying to guesstimate, you kind of get a guesstimation, you know, like a 5-yard gap of what you think it's going, and write it down. If you're on full swing, or if you're on a launch monitor, and then keep doing that through the rest of the wedges. And write these things down. That's the biggest thing. Write them down on a piece of paper, in your notes on your phone, whatever. That way when you're on the course and you have a 88-yard shot, you can go find that shot on your notes. You can go find, all right, I hit this shot 92, I hit this shot 85. Okay, pin's in the back. I'd rather be a little short of the pin. I'm gonna hit the 85-yard shot. And it's those little things that can save you strokes off your round. Seems simple, but I know a lot of people out there that are just guessing with their wedges, guessing with their yardages, and it's costing them strokes. Try to take advantage of your rangefinder, your launch monitor if you have one, and try to start shaving strokes off your round. And last thing, wedges take a lot of practice. Contact is the most important thing on being consistent. You can know how far your wedge is supposed to go, but if you can't hit it solid consistently, then it's gonna be tough to trust that. I get it. So you have to practice your wedges a lot to be able to consistently hit or make good contact with the ball. Lots of practice when it comes to wedges. It's a very important part of your practice routine if you have one. If you don't have one, or you don't have much time, I highly recommend you giving wedges at least some of your time while you're at the range. So that is controlling your distances with your wedges. I know there wasn't a whole lot of technique in here, but there's not really a whole lot of technique when it comes to this aspect of things. It's just learning how far you hit your wedges, writing them down, being able to look back on those notes when you're on the course to see what type of shot you need to hit, having the different types of shots to hit. Obviously, like I said, lots of practice, being able to make sure that contact is consistent. We appreciate you watching this Good Labs video. If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit that notification bell so you will know when our next video is out. We have a lot of good videos coming out soon. I'm super excited about it. It means a lot to us. Thank you for watching. Peace.